back live to Harmer and to Barry Davis and Alan Weeks.
Yes, 2 Frenchmen, 2 Russians, a Canadian, an American. Here's the probable favourite, Elvis Stojko. And you might, back in the studio, get someone to check now whether anybody with the name of Elvis has ever won an Olympic gold medal. He is the choice of Stephen Cousins, but Scott Davis is the choice of many. The spinner, it's a question of whether he will land the jumps as well as he spins. The Olympic champions of the past have shown what they can do. It's up to these, like Philippe Candeloro. That's how he will end his program, with his little breakdance spin. He's going to do his skating and acting to The Godfather. Here's Alexei Urmanov, who is the current leader. And Tataurov, the second Russian, both of them coached by Alexei Mishin, who will be the last of this group to skate. And we await the first to go, as the others are invited to leave the ice to him.
The expressive step sequences. And a very fast finish. But Eric Millot, apart from that error at the beginning on the triple axel, he picked himself up and he went through it. And as with the French team, his teammate Candeloro, much the same, they have great presentation sense. They put more into it perhaps than some of the other skaters. And obviously it's very, very much appreciated by the 2 or 3 French supporters here. But he certainly did all he had to do, particularly following the very first error in the very first jump. He picked himself up and he came back.
Very different characters, the 2 Frenchmen. Eric Millot, he went for the triple axel at the start. In the European Championship, he had a mile-high double axel and didn't make the rostrum. Triple Lutz, double toe loop to follow, a triple toe loop to follow, I beg your pardon. And here, the toe salco, the flip, on to the loop, but a 2-footed landing really. He was well spread out. Nice control. Comfortable finish to a program which started, as you said, Alan, disappointingly. 5 sixes, the high point of the technical merit marks.
5-5, 5-3, 5-3, 5-3, 5-6, 5-5,
was in 6th place.
5-6.
Now the artistic impression. French judge gives 5-7, so does the British judge give 5-7. But he would have needed better marks than that to really threaten. The United States judge has him only 7th in the free program, but he's in 4th place at the moment, ahead of Stephen Cousins.
On the ice, representing Canada, Elvis Stojko.
And this is the gentleman from whom we are expecting a great deal. Elvis Stojko, Canadian champion. He was second in the technical program, but looking generally, he has been doing tremendously well in his jumps. Very powerful jumper indeed. That's a triple Lutz to start with. Triple axel, triple toe. Triple loop there. And a triple axel there. Triple flip. Moving around in a big serpentine step sequence. And a triple salto there. That was an excellent spin to finish. Well, the powerful jumping, we saw it. Somehow the part of the linking routine was a bit slow at the beginning and built up towards the end. But certainly he's a very powerful skater, Elvis Stojko. And the Canadians have thrown their flowers onto the ice and they're approving of it. It'll be very interesting to see, though, how he's judged artistically compared with some of the other skaters we've seen. Athletically, very strong.
His music was the soundtrack of the Bruce Lee story. Indeed, the sash that he wore in his outfit was given to him by Bruce Lee. He's a great fan of karate. This was the triple Lutz with which he began his program, and it was an excellent one. But then he moved to the other end of the ice and seemed to me to pull out of what might even have been a combination jump. But his... There we are. But he put together a triple axel here and followed it with the triple toe. Known as a good jumper, seems to have established his own style now, and the judges have been more appreciative of it in terms of artistic impression. That was the triple flip. Dudley looking a little unsure. Uschi Kessler, choreographer. Now, these should be high. 5 9s, all except 2. They think that will be good enough. Well, it's certainly not going to be easy to surpass. But let's see what happens with the artistic impression mark when that comes, because that in the end could be decisive. But he has set a very high technical content for those to follow. There are 4 more to go. Down 5-5 and 5-6 though. 2 of the 9 marks for artistic impression and bringing a few whistles. He is in the lead, having won the free program, and he is in first position overall.
Thank you. On the ice, representing France, Philippe Candeloro.
And onto the ice comes the character, Philippe Candeloro, the man who really does make people think when he starts his program, as he looks as though he's thinking now. He was 3rd in the technical program. Great start. Two triple toe loops. Triple Lutz, he turns very fast in the air. goes into his step sequences, that's when the character comes out. Nice triple Stojko. Nice triple loop. He is a character, all right. Oh, what a pity. There's the Candeloro spin. Obviously, he captures the imagination of the public because he's such a character. Everything was fine until that very last jump. It was probably going to be a triple axel, but there we go. Everything else was fine. He moved around the ice in his own special way, very special, and the audience really like him. But what a pity. He got all those jumps going good, and then the very last jump of all, well, it just didn't happen.
Well, has the gold medal slipped from his grasp in that last moment before his breakdance spin? Certainly it was a triple axel. He spent a lot of time practicing it earlier in the day. And he showed in the earlier combination that he was perfectly capable of doing it, because that's what we just saw. Triple toe loop, a second combination. He had to battle a little bit with that. It's now the Lutz. Watch the shoulders. They turn the wrong way around from the one you're expecting. Perfectly executed. A very artistic performance. Had lots of variations and a little bit of acting to go with it. But there it came to grief. And how much will it cost him? 5.8, 3 of them, the technical merit marks, are not clearly as good as those of Elvis Stojko. 5.5 from Japan being the lowest point of a performance to the theme music of The Godfather. André Brunet, his coach. Artistic impression. 5 9s, and it brings up whistles from the crowd. 5.62 from Belarus. He is in second position overall, but the crowd thought that he deserved better marks for artistic. Actually finished 4th in the free program, but is in second position overall.
Russia, Alexei Urmanov.
And here comes the man who is in the lead after the technical program, Alexei Urmanov. He was first. Bronze medalist in the European Championship, the Russian champion, and a very elegant skater indeed. The height on that triple axel was brilliant. Triple toe loop there. And there are triple lutz. All of them performed with grace. Beautiful triple axel, double toe, excellent. A triple loop. Moved quite a bit across the ice on that spin. But it was a good spin. As is that one. Right on the center. Well, that's the only mistake he's made so far on that triple flip. Picked it up, he's come back. Well, it was a very, very smooth program by Alexei Urmanov. His two Canadian rivals there, looking, thinking, and wondering whether that slip in that jump right at the end of the program would have an effect on keeping him away from the medals. He moved around the ice beautifully, he presented it well, and everything was certainly going great until then.
Well, the chance was certainly there for him, but sometimes when you have to skate for a little over 4.5 minutes, it can sap the strength of one or two. Start was excellent, the triple axel. This was the triple Lutz. And this, I think, is going to be the combination. Up for the double toe loop following the triple axel. But this was a flip which very nearly became a flop. He managed to pull out in time. His body was at such an angle when he was in the air. Stojko had 7.59s for technical merit. They are not as good, but there are all bar two at 5.8.
Marks for technical merit, 5.8, 5.8, 5.7, 5.8.
So the artistic impression marks will be weighted with some trepidation by Elvis Stojko. 5.9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.9s. Alexei Mishin looks with concern, trying to work it out over the two programs, what that will do. These are the positions the judges are putting him in for the free program. Fifth says France, but Alexei Mishin says thumbs up, and that means Urmanov is in the lead.
On the ice, representing the United States of America, Scott Davis.
And now, a young man from the United States, Scott Davis, who is the United States champion, was in the World Championships last year and finished 6th. He was 4th in the technical merit program. It was a triple axel. What a pity. But again, the landing wasn't right. As he fell backwards, he had to make an extra turn. Slow step sequence, good control. was a triple axel, and that came off. Good spins. Circular step sequence. Stojko, double toe, the combination came off good. Good spin. Oh, triple toe loop. Very sad. That's because we've seen Scott Davis training while we've been here, and he's shown lots of promise. And having won the United States Championship, of course, he has got promise. He's 22 years of age, and unfortunately, 3 errors in jumps will be very costly for him.
Yes, clearly there is not to be an American victory. Would have been their 7th. Too many problems with the jumps, starting with the triple axel failure. Took him a long time to recover from that. Frustrating that later on he was able to do it, but the start was important. Just a question of whether he did enough to get in among the minor medals, but I think with that fall, the answer to that will also be in the negative. At the moment, Urmanov won the technical program, has produced the best performance, in the judges' opinion, of the free skating program. Elvis Stojko second in both. Candeloro third in the technical program, as low as 5th in the free skating program. Petrenko 9th in the technical program, 4th in the free skating program. Browning 12th in the technical program, as high as 3rd in the free skating. How they will rue their failures in the technical program, the former world and Olympic champions. 5-7 the high point for Scott Davis on the technical merit mark. Down to 5-3 from Belarus.
5-5, 5-4, 5-5, 5-6, 5-5.
The artistic impression starts well and ends well. 5-6 from Romania, 5-7 from Canada, but those marks drop him down. He's no higher than 8th in the free program, and indeed is 8th overall. Disappointing end for the American challenge.
On the ice, representing Russia, Oleg Tataurov.
And out comes the last skater in this Olympic competition, Oleg Tataurov of Russia. He was 5th in the technical program. Last year's Worlds, he finished 11th. He was 7th in Europe in Copenhagen. Triple axel. And a fall on the triple Lutz. Didn't seem to be getting into that right. Just a single axel there. Triple flip and another fall. Now he seemed to have slowed down somewhat during the program. That's a circular step sequence he's in. And a fall on the triple loop. Well, I have to say that I feel a bit sorry for Oleg Tataurov, having seen him skate quite a few times, but never quite like that. Unfortunately, that first fall seemed to set him right back in that triple Lutz. He lost his confidence and he slowed down, and then another fall soon afterwards. So that was by nowhere near the best we've ever seen of him, and I'm afraid that's going to put him right back.
This is how he started, and it was a promising opening. Then came for the triple Lutz, which he does 99 times out of 100, but the 100th occasion happened to be in the free skating of the Olympic Championship. And from there on, he pulled out of jumps all over the place and fell more than once. The area kiss and cry can be a very lonely place when you know you haven't given your best and all you want to do is to run away and hide. And rather mixed feelings here for Alexei Mishin. One of his skaters has won the Olympic title. The other one has had a nightmare at the end. 4 nines, 3 of them for technical merit. 21-year-old from St. Petersburg will have another chance, as indeed will Elvis Stojko of going for the Olympic title. He's also 21. Artistic marks only up to 5.4, and he's dropped way down to finish in 11th position, having started his free skating program in 5th place after the technical program. Final marks being counted out, but a lot of points still to be discussed on the verdict of the judges, which the public won't know yet. Alexei Urmanov is the new Olympic champion. His artistry being given the better of it in the battle with Elvis Stojko, who had those string of 5 nines on the technical side. And look at the former Olympic champions and world champion, if only they hadn't have had so many problems in the technical program. Urmanov wins, Stojko second, Philippe Candeloro of France in 3rd place, and Stephen Cousins, super performance. He's in the world's top 10. He finishes in 9th place, and we look forward to him building on that in the World Championships to come, and indeed the home World Championships in Birmingham next year.
And it was a tremendous finish there for Stephen Cousins. I mean, in the top 10, that's got to mean so much to him.
Oh, I think it's terrific. I think he's done himself proud, and I say I'm thrilled for him.
The top 3 didn't change, though.
No, I sort of predicted, and I thought that was how it would work out. I think it was interesting to have 3 people who are so different. Candeloro certainly is probably the crowd's favourite, but I find him a little rough around the edges technically. And of course, then you go to the other extreme, and you have Urmanov, who is a perfect technician. I mean, the quality is textbook, and even with the mistake, he was still, to me, superior to Stojko, who has all the energy and a very vibrant, and certainly the jumping technique is amazing, but the spins are a little lacking.
Are you enthusiastic about what Candeloro is trying to do, his approach?
Yes and no. I kind of feel that a lot of it disguises the lack of technique in the quality of the jumps and the spins. And I think that a lot of people would rather them emulate someone like Urmanov than emulate someone like Candeloro. And I mean, he is unique in that respect.
I suppose it's the jumps that save him, is it?
Well, it's the fact that he can actually pull off the material. I find it quite odd sometimes to see the positions that he takes off in, that he can actually land. But you know, he's always been like that. You know, it's sort of his own version of the official textbook version of what should be done, and it paid off for him tonight. It hasn't in the past, but it did tonight.
What about the overall standard of the competition? A lot of big names fell by the wayside. Seemed to be a lot of mistakes, a lot of ambition there, but a lot of mistakes.
It comes down to this triple axel combination, and you know, they're putting the pressure on themselves by sort of saying, if you miss the combination, you might as well not bother showing up for the following day's competition. And as we've seen with our 3 former Olympians, it was what killed them. I think had they had the results that they wanted the other evening, we would have seen them going out in the final group tonight with probably a completely different mindset, and we probably would have seen all 3 of them on the podium. But that didn't happen, and that's what competition is all about.
Tonight's performances, though, who was the best? Petrenko for you?
No, I think Urmanov was the best. I think Petrenko has a quality that Urmanov is going to end up with in another year or so, and you know, I'm somewhat of a purist in terms of what I like to watch, and I think now, looking at it, I like to look at what I think I would tell other children to be like and how I would teach someone to be. Browning certainly has a flair and a quality which is unlike the others. And again, he tonight produced a form for me which I thought was wonderful. But I like what the youngsters are doing, what they're doing, and I think it's nice to think that someone has something to say other than what is the norm. And I think one of the nice things with the men's figure skating right now is that there is so much diversity within the group that anything can happen on any given day, as we've seen over the past 3 days.
It certainly was an exciting finish to the men's competition. Now we look forward, of course, tomorrow night to Jane Torvill and
Yes.
Christopher Dean. I mean, must be very disappointed after...
Well, I think it's in some respect, again, it might be nice for them to have had today off. As we know, they didn't train this morning, which was understandable considering how early the practice session was. And it's a question of regrouping yourselves and getting together. They know what they've got to do, and tomorrow's the day for them to do it. Christopher
Dean has actually said that if he'd have known the pressure and the stress that was involved, that they would not have come back. They've been under tremendous strain.
That's why I'm sitting here. I don't think anybody...
You make it too easy for you.
No, I don't think anybody would have thought that their comeback would have not gone unnoticed, but I don't know anybody who expected it to have this amount of attention. And as much as you try and closet yourself away and remove yourself from all of that, you can't help but be affected by it. And I think one of the most important things for us to realize that these Olympians went in 10 years ago and 4 years ago and with nothing to do but make a reputation. Now 10 years on for Jane and Chris, and likewise for Brian Boitano and Victor Petrenko, it's keeping that reputation alive that is the struggle, and sometimes that is not in your control.
They of course continue it tomorrow. It's not to be missed. You'll be back.
We'll be here, yes,
We're
in
not
the hot
going
seat.
to miss it. Don't forget the original dance, the rumba, takes place tomorrow evening live at 7 o'clock on BBC Two, and the free dance, their new routine, Could It Win the Gold Medal, possibly on Monday evening. That's BBC One at 7:30.
Well, we've been enjoying grace on ice, now grace and power. The women's 500 metre speed